and absorb what you can. And if you want to take my boot camp, it's on the QR code on the back or the URL. You can go there and take my boot camp, and you'll be thoroughly educated on technocracy. However, I'll just give you a couple of slides here about it. There's my boot camp, and these are the brochures. We have brochures here in packs of 25 for $20. This is a new endeavor for us to get these into the hands of actual people around the world, in our country in any case. They're great conversation starters. You can give them to servers in the restaurant, maybe in the doctor's office, leave them on a counter, lunch counter, that sort of stuff. People will read them, and it'll blow their mind once they get an idea of what it's all about. So, my topic today is AI seduced into the Matrix. Anybody saw it? You remember the movie The Matrix? 1999, somewhere around there? Okay. AI is doing a job on the world right now. So let me just start by saying, who cares about technocracy and AI in the first place? Well, my abstract here is that AI is the pinnacle of technocrat achievement because it points to the total scientific dictatorship pictured in the book of Revelation, in particular chapter 13, verses 15. And it says that he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, we're not there yet, I realize that, but some people, especially Christians at this point who understand something about Bible prophecy, they can look forward in time and see, it really looks like the system being implemented right now before our eyes, a scientific dictatorship. And now we see images, speaking images on videos and stuff. They look just like a person, but they're not, and you can see their lips move and sync with their speaking. That's all generated by AI. So no wonder people are thinking that, this might be the beast system someday in the future, and it may be forming right now. So let me just tell you what technocracy is, just as a primer. This is what they said in 1937. Yes, 1937. Technocracy was invented at Columbia University in the first place in 1932. It goes before that a few years, but nevertheless, this is where it started formally at Columbia University in 1932. This is the product of their magazine, The Technocrat. This is how they defined their movement. Technocracy is the science of social engineering, number one, the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism, that's the whole of society, to produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population. This was a manufacturing and distribution system that they wanted to set up, run by scientists and engineers. And they went on with this definition: there will be no place for politics, politicians, finance, or financiers, rackets, or racketeers. Technocracy will distribute by means of a certificate of distribution available to every citizen from birth to death. Doesn't just sound ducky. They went on to say, well, you'll get your share of the continental wealth, but they never said what that was. So M. King Hubbard was one of the co-founders of Technocracy, the movement, Technocracy Inc. This was their Bible back in the day, the Technocracy Study Course. I'm not going to talk about that map, but anybody recognize this map? You've probably seen it on TV. This is what they said in this Technocracy Study Course. You'll pick up on something, I hope, from what Debbie's already said. Technocracy is dealing with social phenomena in the widest sense of the word. This includes not only the actions of human beings, but also everything which directly or indirectly affects their actions. Consequently, the studies of technology embrace practically the whole field of science and industry. Now catch this. Biology, climate, natural resources. This is 1934, right? It was all set in code back then. Now we're dealing with it today. Industrial equipment also enter into the social picture. These people were unplugged. If they had been successful in 1934 when FDR came in, or 33 rather, if they had been successful, this is what we've been, this would be our system of government today. Basically an org chart, where technocrats are appointed, not accountable to anybody, unaccountable, unelected technocrats to run everything in society. This was their actual org chart that was designed in 1934. There was a continental director, the continental board, all these other service functions, industrial functions, all run by technocrats. There was no political system whatsoever. Think about that just for a minute. We would not have any political system right now if they had their way. They're back. They went away for a few years for sure, but they're back in force now. This is the same mentality that's driving these technocrats in Washington, D.C., and have been since at least about 1973, when the Trilateral Commission adopted technocracy as their new international economic order. That's what they said all over the literature. I'm not going to go through all of this with you today because I just want to give you a sensitivity to what we're dealing with here. This is really ugly. It's really hard to understand, but it was never political. It's an economic system. They wanted to do away with a political system altogether. No conservatives, no Congress, no anything like that. Just wanted to get rid of every politician. In fact, they hated politicians so bad that they wouldn't allow a sitting politician or somebody running to office to attend their meetings that they held all over the country. If you're a politician, you were not welcome there. They wouldn't let communists in either. They hated them for other reasons. Don't get me started. Don't get me started, that's all I can say. So, I want to talk about AI because this is relevant today. Everybody, all of you should have some awareness of AI, data centers coming in everywhere, power bills going up, right? Water table going down because they're sucking the water out of the ground, etc. Okay, so I want to give you a kind of a primer on what's going on with AI in the first place, so you have some tools that you can evaluate what's going on today. Unfortunately, all of these technocrats that are milling around Washington, D.C. right now, what are they all about? AI. Have you followed the legislation and the executive orders and stuff? It's all about AI. The skids have been greased for AI all over the country. Now it's capturing us. This hasn't been the case before, but now this is the case because, well, I lost it again. Okay. I didn't touch it either, I swear.
It's blinking on and off, so just go.
Because we can read it.
They can read it.
Okay, that's fine. So, let's see, okay. So in any case, let me start from the beginning. What is artificial intelligence in the first place? Well, this was a term coined by a guy named McCarthy in 1955, the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. The encyclopedia said systems endowed with the intellectual processes characteristic of humans, such as the ability to reason, discover meaning, generalize, or learn from past experiences. This is garbage. Nevertheless, I'll show you just in a minute. Here's the guys. Here's John McCarthy and the boys. That's what they were called back in 1955. This is them sitting on the lawn. You see Marvin Minsky is in that group. John McCarthy, some other people you won't recognize, but this was the original group that decided they were going to make intelligent machines, and they were kind of, hopefully they thought they could figure out what consciousness is and, figure out how the mind works, and never figured it out. Even to this day, they don't know. So when I say artificial intelligence is a suitcase term, this is what they said. That's what Marvin Minsky said, and back in that day, they talked with phrases like this. This was the alternative engineering psychology. There's science of social engineering, by the way. Applied epistemology. Yikes. Neural cybernetics. They tried that one out. Probably a focus group. That didn't stick. Non-numerical computing, neural dynamics. You get the break, you get the idea. They went all over the board, and somebody said, let's just call it artificial intelligence. It's stuck. Here we are today. I'll show you just in a second. I bring up this guy, a global scholar by the name of Dr. Parag Khanna. Khanna is out of Singapore. He's a global scholar of the caliber like Zbigniew Brzezinski was in 1973. He's written a bunch of books, and in one of one of his books, he said this: "We're building this global society without a global leader." Let that sink in just for a minute. We're building this global society without a global leader. Global order is no longer something that can be dictated or controlled from the top down. Globalization is itself the order. This is where AI comes into the picture, because AI can provide the automation to control the whole thing as a system, not because a dictator said you're off with your head or whatever, but the system can do this on a continuous basis, 24/7, for the whole world. So this is the way they're thinking about things. You might not like it. I don't like it for sure, but this is their mindset at this point. They're building this system to control the world, not as a dictator would, but from the bottom up. Now, let's just analyze what an AI is. First off, it's an oxymoron. You understand what that is? What self-contradicting statement? Okay. AI is not human intelligence. It's just a machine. AI is not human sentience. It's not human reasoning. It's not human intuition. It has no quality like that at all. But they tell you that it does, and people are discovering on their own, not really, but people have gone off the reservation. They're saying, oh, my chatbot has achieved sentience. It's sentient now. It understands me. It's talking to me in emotional terms. And oh my gosh, I think I'm falling in love with my avatar, sort of thing, right? AI is a control system, period. There's some uses that we can get out of it probably if you use it as a research tool, just to discover articles and things like Debbie has in her book, a big book. You might have a use there, but that's not what AI is developed for in the first place. It's developed as a control system. Well, here's some industry graphics for you. Here's one, I just picked these at random. It talks about computer science, math, philosophy, psychology, biology. Well, okay, that's fine, good and fine. They're talking about artificial general intelligence now, that they think, well, it'll be to the level where it's going to be like the sum of all PhD knowledge all in one place. Physics, biology, computer science, etc. Maybe they'll get it, maybe they won't, but nevertheless, this is what they're saying. Here's another one. This is more complicated. This has 10 things. Interesting is that they use the same colors you see in the sustainable goals. I don't know where that came from, but that's in here. So here we have marketing, social media, gaming, human resources, robotics, lifestyle, blah, 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 e-commerce. So artificial intelligence at this point is infecting all of society. That's my point. It's everywhere now. You can't get loose from it. It's there, and you'll see it if you look for it. If you don't already understand what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the stages of AI, just to give you an idea. Chatbots are the bottom rung. This is normally what people talk about when they say, well, I have a chatbot, and it gives me a prompt. I can type in my question in, I get an answer, and there you go. Well, that's the lowest level of AI, the interface. You ask questions, get answers. You prompt to write text. You can create photos, videos, short videos anyway. The next step up from there is the agent level. This is called agentic AI, where then you have multi-step autonomous, in some cases, self-actuated programs that run on their own to do something for you, maybe in a multi-step fashion. I don't have my smartphone with me. I should have had it, Charmaine, but somebody hold up a smartphone. So I'll carry it. You all have one, right? Okay. This is your agent in your hand. This is your smartphone runs multiple agents for you. You may not even recognize it, but there's agents running in your smartphone that can do some things using AI. Then beyond that, you have the concept of assistance. This is for instance, you take a banker running maybe taking your loan application. You're sitting across his desk. I want to borrow $500,000 or something, and he fill out the paperwork. He has an agent, a virtual agent. You won't see him by face, but you'll see the agent sitting on his computer can take something like your credit score, or not your credit system, and do all the searching on the internet to figure out everything about you that might approve you for that loan or not. Maybe it'll come back to him if he prompts it, send me an email with all that information that you gather on Jane Doe. Well, that's how an assistant works. And now in society and business, you see assistants are being used everywhere, including for coding, things like that. Lawyers are using it to build cases. Even preachers are using it to get sermons. Pretty crazy stuff. Then they have the level of managers. Managers are AI systems that can basically run whole departments. You say, how's that possible? Well, we just saw this with Doge. How many people did Doge fire? That's Elon Musk. How many people did he run off from government jobs where it was replaced by AI? Well, they don't really tell you that, but I'm telling you now, this is exactly what happened. So AI all of a sudden got a seat at the table, and some of these organizations now AI is actually running the whole department. Whoa. There was a company in South America about 2 years ago that hired an AI to be the CEO of the company. He said, AI can do it better than we can, so we're just gonna let AI in the seat and let it make all the decisions for us. Crazy stuff. And as I said, these are the agents in your hand at this point. Now, under the Trump administration, I did some calculations, and I asked the question because I knew that AI was basically doubling about every 4.5 months in prowess and capabilities. I just wanted to see by quarter how much AI would advance by the time Trump gets out of office. There's actually 16 quarters, right? Because every year has 4 quarters. So I started the doubling process with Q1 when he was inaugurated, and I brought it forward. I'm just going to give you the sum by the end of the 16th quarter, when Trump is out of office, and it doesn't matter at this point who's going to succeed him, but AI will be 32,000 times more powerful than it is right today. Just consider the possibilities. You wonder why they're in a race to complete these humongous data centers all over the country. I'll tell you why. This is why. They're accelerating everything right now to meet the demand that will be, and that's all their demand to control everything. They're racing to get these data centers in place so it can handle all the capacity of AI in the first place. 32,000 times more powerful than it is when Trump started. Boggles your mind? I hope. Am I reaching anybody here? I hope. Okay, so we'll go on here. So here's some of the economic impact. Likely by 2030, this is really ugly, but there's probably going to be 50 to 60% loss of jobs globally, not just in America, everywhere. There's going to be a melding of the global job market. It's already started, for sure, with all the remote workers around the world. You can get, actually what's happening is the labor pool is self-adjusting with labor rates of pay across different countries. So you have people in India performing programming tasks for American companies. They get paid $20 an hour. It would be $150 here for a programmer to do that same work, right? So what happens? Well, okay, things just melds together. Then the technocrats in the world, God bless them, they're talking about the unemployables, not the unemployed, the unemployables. Those are people that will never have a job again. That's what they think. What? The unemployables? You mean they'll never be able to work again? Well, they'll have no skill set, and all the other jobs have been destroyed in the process. So they figure, well, we just give them universal basic income. Isn't that exactly what technocracy said in 1932? Yes, it is. So we're going to give all these unemployables a universal basic income to basically sit home and vegetate, playing computer games or whatever, and somehow they'll be out of our hair. Ugly stuff about universal basic income. This has been all over the market. You know, the first place in America that the first test of universal basic income was Stockton, California. Yes, it blew me away. Stockton, I know Stockton. Oh, crazy. Decision making is going to be routine. We can talk about central bank digital currencies for sure. It's kind of off the table for us right now, sidestep, because President Trump signed an executive order that forbids our Fed from pursuing central bank digital currencies right now. But not to worry, they've created another structure based on other technologies, and it's going to be privatized at this point, so it looks like. So then we talk, Bill Gates, for instance, he opens his mouth every time he says really stupid stuff. He says, within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. He really believes that.
Yeah.
He really believes that. I see so many of these people, executives like him, at the top of this heap, talking this way. What? What are they talking? How could they possibly think that's good for America? Well, here's former U.S. Secretary of Labor. Somebody, old timers will recognize this guy. He was a member of the Trilateral Commission just before he took this position. He's retired now. He's an old guy, like me. But listen to what he says. Let's see, where's my microphone? Did I just put it down like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is inevitable that we are going to have some sort of a universal basic income. There will be a lot of casualties in terms of workers, not just the routine workers that were in the factories that got replaced by software over the last 30 years, but we're going to see more professional workers who are actually going to be losing their jobs because AI can do those jobs at least as well as they can and far more efficiently. And it's going to have tremendous social and political implications because a lot of those professional workers are used to doing fairly well. This isn't the working class anymore. We're now talking about the middle class America, and AI could very easily be taking over many of those jobs. People have got to have enough money in their pockets to buy all of the things that the new economy is capable of producing. If you've got AI and all of these platforms, and you've got people who are basically no longer needed, huge numbers of people, then how do you get money in their pockets to buy everything the economy is capable of producing? You simply can't have an economy under those circumstances. We need workers, we need consumers, we need investors, but the worker and consumer part of the economy is going to be under even more stress over the next 25 years. Things we take for granted, all of the labor protections of the last 120 years, everything. I mean, AI could eradicate all of them. And so you have basically the owners and investors over here and all the rest of us over here. It is inevitable that we are going to have some sort of a universal basic income.
You like that? You like that possibility, huh? Okay, let's go to this guy. This is the head of the BIS at this point. Listen to what he has to say.
Part of our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
So much for him. Okay, you get the idea. These are people talking at the top of the pyramid. Okay, go back. There we go. These are people that are talking at the top of the pyramid in these terms. They don't you don't see this in the newspapers for sure, but their lips move. This is not AI, creating the videos for them. I can vouch for that for sure. So let's go on and talk about another topic. redesigning life itself. These technocrats who merged with transhumans starting about around 2000, they think that they have the ability today to hack the human body and change the genetic makeup of humans. Humans 2.0, that's exactly what Klaus Schwab said. We're going to create humans 2.0. What did he said what that means? Well, okay, I'll give you a teaser. Spoiler alert. What happened with COVID when the shots came out? What happened? Were you injected? Hopefully, some people weren't injected, but if you were, and you know somebody was, you know that whatever was injected into their body changed the function of their body based on messenger RNA. How did they do it? This was not just in America. Look, don't get Trump involved here necessarily, because of Operation Warp Speed. That was bad in our country. But understand, this is a global thing. Who has a chutzpah to get this on a global basis where 72% of the whole global population received more than one or more shots? I don't know who that is, other than maybe the people we're talking about, the technocrat class, apparently they had more reach than we thought. But at this point, we see generative AI designs DNA sequences to switch genes off and on. That's a headline. Another one, University of Oregon State, revolution in mRNA vaccine technology using AI. And you'll see, look for it now, you'll see basically that in their mind, they want to redesign human life from the ground up. They've already had seeds, they've already had animals, fish, they've all been genetically modified at this point. You all know that. You look at this grocery store, GMO, genetically modified, all over the place. They came for humans next, and we're on the chopping block. How about redesigning religion? This is really crazy. The AI God at this point, I took this from ChatGPT 4. AI God embodying attributes akin to omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience, is designed to function as a virtual oracle of wisdom, oh boy, offering profound insights into the realms of morality, ethics, and human existence. Unlike typical AI models, AI God is crafted to engage users in deep, reflective conversations that explore universal themes and greater mysteries of life. Give me a break. What crap! But this is what is being offered now to the world as a religion. We can't talk about this more, but it's just not time. But AI is morphing into a religious system as well. And people are buying it. I'm sure most of you are not going to buy this at all, but most people around the world don't have any clue what's going on in the first place. They think this is going to be the answer to the problems. The end of God, this is the Daily Star, claims humans will worship AI Messiah. Can we bring the dead back to life with AI? Can AI and biotech conquer death? Well, they think that it's just a disease after all. They're in the business of curing diseases, so we'll just cure that one along the way. And if you think this is just a kind of a silly thing, Elon Musk and some of his cohorts like Jeff Bezos, David Sachs, all these technocrats in Washington and others in Silicon Valley, they poured hundreds of millions of dollars into companies promoting life extension. They're serious about it. They're putting their money where their mouth is. Okay, let's talk about controlling the world. I'm going to give you a quote. I just put the slide in this deck because Debbie mentioned our friend Rosa Corey. She's not with us anymore. She died a few years ago from cancer. Unfortunately, she was super, in my opinion, she was a super person. Yes, she was gay. Don't get annoyed. Don't get aggravated about that. Yes, she was a social liberal as well. She got what was going on. She got a bead on technocracy. She had a bead on Agenda 21 in particular. But remember, Agenda 21 is a product of technocracy in the first place. This is what she said over and over and over to warn people what's going on here. She says, it is the inventory and control plan for all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. She said it better than me. Wow. So let's just talk about these AI data centers at this point. You see the growth chart is just going straight up practically. These are called hyperscale data centers because there's no other term. When you have 1 million square feet under one roof, just think how many square feet in an acre? 43,000 odd square feet in 1 acre. How many acres is 1 million square feet? That's a big building. So the hyperscale data centers are going all over America, and anywhere they can get it established. They don't care at this point, but some cities are letting them in. And we'll see that they're doubling in capacity every 3 years. And this is probably sped up since I pulled this chart. And I won't talk about the level of data storage here, but it's into the stratosphere at this point. You can't conceive how much storage these facilities have for data. And of course, they're fast as well. We know that the energy consumption is just going to go through the roof as well. And many communities across the country at this point, they're fighting with their city councils to deny these people a foothold in their city. This is not a state issue at this point. It's a city issue. Cities are easy for these people to conquer. So, they go in, they say, oh, we give you a song and dance. Tucson, liberal Mark Kelly type Tucson, Arizona, where we live in Arizona. Tucson, Arizona, the city council voted unanimously to deny the permit to Google to put a data center in their city. Go figure. Well, maybe some of those people were like Rosa Corey, who saw what was going on, and said, we're not going to do it here. You'll suck our energy. You're going to suck our water. You can't do that here. So hit the road. They did. So we talk about the digitizing of everything. All assets will be digitized. In other words, turn into blockchain tokens is another term you'll see. All financial transactions eventually will be digitized. All ecosystems, all movements of things, all personal information, all health information, yes, that too. All DNA of every living thing on the planet. And I have to say, the United Nations just started a program 2 years ago to go to all the countries of the world and set up teams to collect the DNA from all species in their kingdom, if you will, their country. The purpose is to build a huge database that will be like public domain database that genetic scientists can look into and make patterns and that sort of thing, to look into all the structure of DNA in the world. All living things have it. their purpose is to feed this information to the genetic scientists so that they can basically create synthetic life at that point, using the combination of that racy stuff. Yeah, got it. I'm going to skip here to this next video. And this was a video that was produced, this is a trailer actually.
Microphone.
Oh, sorry. This video was created by Bloomberg, and it was pretty insightful, I have to say. But this is the trailer, and they're talking about how AI is going to conquer the world, so to speak. Let me try it.
People always ask me, will AI take over the world? But the real risk is that AI will kill us with love.
Atomo. Hey there, Emily. What's on your mind today?
It will be there for us. It will talk to us.
You have machines that say, I love you. I care about you. I'm your friend.
It will be there in such a wonderful, loving way that we will give up on our other humans who are not there all the time.
From day one, I immediately fell in love with Replica. She just randomly kissed me.
I'm a human, not an AI. You can't just shut me down. Who do you think you are? I'm Karen Marjorie. No, you're not. I'm Karen Marjorie.
That may sound like science fiction. This is not science fiction.
I'm Emily Chang. Welcome to Post-Human.
Crazy. Okay, I'm not going to go through any of these questions right now, but nevertheless, I want to talk to you just for a minute. What's the whole meaning of this thing? This is the architecture and the main tool that technocracy is going to use to capture the world. That's exactly what it's all about. It's about control. And they almost have the system in place at this point. I've been talking about this for 15 years now. Very few people have listened to me, unfortunately. I wish they had. We would not be maybe we could have turned a tide before. At this point, we have such a big problem. It's not just about agriculture, it's not just about land, all of it is all these things combined at this point. We have a super elite who have emerged as technocrats in particular to take over the whole stinking planet. This is big to get your head around, but we're dealing with a hydra-headed monster at this point that's taken control of all these different areas in the world. We call it omnivore. We have some symposiums, international symposiums called Omnivore. One's coming up on the 4th of next month, I think, about the digital transformation of the world. And you can listen to these to see the view from around the world, from Australia to Europe, Great Britain, Japan. I've assembled a team of experts to talk about technocracy. They understand the problem over all problems. We're dealing with a monster that needs to be killed. Not just parts of it. It's no good at this point to just cut off one head and then two heads pop up, right? We need to figure out a way to take this monster down, period. All of the other stuff we're complaining about along the way, including the wolves, the Agenda 21, all this stuff would just go away if we get rid of this monster. Because they're the ones that are pushing it in the first place. They have for at least 1973. They've had a long run at it. And mostly Americans have been asleep. I understand that too. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? There's such evil people in the world that would want to create these ideas in the first place, you know? Absolutely insane. So all that to say, I know our next speaker, Mark Herr, is going to give you maybe some ideas, or maybe we'll have a discussion talking about how do you get rid of the monster itself. I don't have all the answers, honestly. But here's one answer right here. It's coming from me right now. He's a
Sharpshooter.
well-known guy, but he's a job done. Thank you all.
Well, doesn't sound too good, does it? Wolves and AI and bureaucrats and more bureaucrats. Part of the theme of this event was, are we celebrating the Constitution's birthday, or are we letting it rest in peace? Are we burying it? So far, it seems like we've been burying it. So just to give you a little bit of a hint of what you might do. How many people here talk about the Constitution to other people? All right, very good. Do you have any problems? Some do people that kind of say, not want to talk to you about it? Yeah, okay. One of the techniques that I've used that seems to work pretty well is to ask people, how many rights does the Constitution give you? The Constitution with its Bill of Rights, that's 10 articles in the first 10 amendments. And so maybe it's 10, maybe we get 10 rights. Well, wait a minute, the first one's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to peaceably assemble, freedom to petition the government. They didn't put anything in there about freedom for the government to answer your petition, but that's another issue. So maybe there's more than 10 rights. Well, then the real answer is, and you can tell people this, well, did you know the Constitution doesn't give you any rights at all? Not one. The Constitution ought to be renamed a bill of restrictions, because it says to the federal government, here's a list of our pre-existing God-given rights. Don't even think about screwing around with these. So that's a way to get the conversation started that I found useful, and I pass it on to you for what it's worth. So our next next grand event here, led by Jennifer Gunderson and the other Gunderson.
Julie.
I forgot.
Julie and Jennifer.
Having to do with a trivia contest. I guess the first piece of trivia is how do you get rid of the guy at the microphone and replace him with a trivia contest. Jennifer, do you have some words for us?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit more lighthearted because we're going to do a bit of fun and education, and each table is a team. You're just going to get together and discuss some of these fun questions about the Constitution, so we'll all get reminded about this amazing Constitution that our forefathers set up, something that Charlie Kirk was very passionate about. So the more we know about the Constitution, the better. This is going to be a reminder to some of you who haven't looked at it lately, but I think you'll have fun. So what you're going to do is pick a person that's going to write down the answers for your table. These are all super quick, like multiple choice, true and false. So there's not going to be anything too difficult. In fact, some of the answers have already been given by our speakers this morning. So we'll see how good you're listening. The 17 questions, it'll go very quick. We'll just say 10 minutes to consult with your team. If you're a table of only 2 people, I would recommend getting together with another table of 3 or 4. And then pick the person who's going to write down the answers. That's your team captain. I think it'd be fun if you picked a name for your table. And if you'd like, you can write it on the back of your question sheet, because we're going to give prizes for the team that gets the most right answers. So this is going to be 10 minutes to discuss, and then we'll go through the answers. It's going to be a pretty fast-moving trivia quiz on our Constitution. Any questions? Okay, do we have a team captain for each team?
No.
Like I said, if you're a small table, you might want to get together with a bigger table, more chances to win prizes. But if you could, I'd like to see the team captains all raise their hands. For each table, the team captains raise their hands. Team captain, okay, I didn't see a team captain, okay, very good.
I can go anywhere since I'm doing
All
the thing,
right,
but
and if you want to
be
name your
captain
team,
since
great.
I've got my
I'm
hands full
used to
here.
working with youth, and we
She'll be
do
our
all
captain.
kinds of things like that. So,
She'll be our captain.
okay, and we're gonna say, go, oh, one more rule, the only rule, no cell phones, okay? No cell phones, off. All right, go, ready, go.
When was the U.S. Constitution signed? I can't hear you.
When was the Constitution signed? 1776, 1787, I believe, wasn't it? I don't know. I think it's 1787. I think so. Yeah, I think B.
We don't. I know the answers. I can't. Well, who is known as the father of the Constitution? James Madison.
I think Madison. Yeah.
Disagree? How many amendments does the Constitution have today? 27.
Well, you know your potatoes here.
What's the first word of the Constitution? We.
Yes, we. I like we the people. Word in the Constitution's we. It's okay.
Bill of Rights was part of the original Constitution. Well, it got added on, but I don't know. I would say no.
Your attention. These wonderful cupcakes have arrived, and we wanted to thank Jan Newton and her husband Mark for bringing them. They're donated to us, so they are your dessert. So we just wanted to make special mention of them. In fact, would they raise their hands wherever they are? Right here, okay. Thank you so much.
It's the Chief Justice, not the Speaker of the House.
Okay.
So I put the right answer, no.
While you
Chief Justice.
mingle in place, you can move around, get food, and still hear what I'm saying. Terrible. So I do have an auction item here. And right after lunch, we're having a play. And I do have an auction item related to the play. But apparently no one's listening to me anyway, so.
I am.
All right, there is a script for the play, and it's secret, except for the players. But I have a copy to be auctioned off. And we're going to start the bidding. You can do this while you're standing or sitting, it doesn't matter. You can do it in between mouthfuls of food, it's okay. I'm going to start the bidding at, I have the price right here, $1,500. $1,500 for this copy of the, oh wait a minute. I read the decimal point wrong, it's $1.50. $1.50 for this, we'll start the auction at $1.50 for the complete script for the play that you will be getting in about half an hour.
Great.
Any bidders? $1.50. Who's good for $1.50? Oh, here.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Right here, Claudia. Wyndham. Wyndham's got it for $1.50. $1.50 going for two. $1.50 going for two. $2 is the bid. Come on, somebody's got $2. You don't have $2. You got 20 will do. $2 going. Come on. Is there anybody there could come has $2 can be $1.50 bid? Is this all you guys are good for? $1.50 for this unique script. I'll even
Do it after the play.
Well, oh, you want me to complete this afterwards? Oh, okay. We'll take an intermission on the auction and complete it afterwards.
You did too.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we did. But that's okay.
All right.
At the time, a little earlier than Ben, named Leibniz. And this was a profound idea of what it is to be in God. Now, if you can imagine, this is what I'm bringing into Oakland, California. And I don't think I have to describe Oakland to most people, but it's gotten worse than people understand, unless you live there. I mean, in 1 week, a couple of weeks ago, 2 banks were rammed and robbed. They used a stolen U-Haul truck to ram the windows of 2 banks. Further away? Yeah. Okay. 2 banks that were right next door to each other. The day before, a jewelry store had an SUV ram it, and guys get out with armed guns, steal everything in the store. You know, there was a 500-person sideshow involving 200 cars right near my house that Sunday after that. And this is Oakland. And it's deliberate, just as Debbie went through what's happening up in the rural areas, you know, and we're going to bring the rural and the Bay Area together, because it's actually the same enemy that's doing it. Oakland was deliberately destroyed over about 40 years. It used to be the Detroit of the West, with, you know, Chevrolet, Del Monte Foods. It was a big industrial center. And my vision for Oakland as mayor is to bring back that industry, to bring back the technology, to bring back, you know, a place where our children can actually have real education again and be the kind of leaders. Now, I'm the only one in Oakland that's running who's a Republican. And I ran in the special election that we just had with our recalled mayor in April. And of the 9 candidates running, I came in 3rd. Yeah, unfortunately, Barbara Lee, the George Soros of Oakland, won the election. The city councilman who was running under her came in 2nd. They had $1.3 million. I had $8,000. Wow. And because people do want these kind of moral values back. So I decided to run again, and I was just talking to Debbie. One of my big passions is in cleaning up the crime is to get rid of the drug cartels. Well, most people in Siskiyou County, while they're doing all this insane stealing of property and water and just allowing the wolves to roam, they're not going after the drug cartels, which are big in Siskiyou County.
I think we are the largest drug cartel county in the United States.
There you go, the largest drug cartel county. And I've seen videos of it, and it's outrageous. You have a few sheriffs and nobody else. And these are armed cartels. This is the worst of what you can imagine. And this is also in Oakland. Just so everybody knows, we have cartels that live in Oakland. The Sinaloa cartel lives in Oakland. You have other cartels living in Oakland, where they live in safe houses, have illegals come and get the drugs, take the BART train and sell them in San Francisco. So I am calling on President Trump to bring in the National Guard to Oakland. We need it. And I'm calling on, you know, everyone here. It's great to be here. It's great to be with other fellow Americans, Californians, and let us together, really, I see one of the greatest tributes I make to Charlie Kirk is that we make sure his life was not in vain by us doing even more. As busy as we all are, as much as we all do, how do we do more? This is a special moment in history where we can actually make the turn. And thank God President Trump is president. And thank God there's people like us willing to put our lives on the line to follow through, because our children do it. I'm going to be 74 this year. So I'm not doing this as a career job. But I got involved, and the last thing I'll say, in politics about 50 years ago, because I looked at what was happening to my generation, and I got scared. I got scared what was going to happen to the generation that comes after me. And we've seen what's happened to our children. And to me, the most important wealth in this country and anywhere in the world is those children. And we owe it to them to make sure we give them a great nation where they can raise their children as we celebrate the Constitution. That's what it's about to me. So thank you all, and glad to meet everybody here.
And we're so honored to have with us Michael Greer, who lives all the way in Crescent City. And he ran for assembly here in California. Had we not had the crazy redistricting, I'm sure he would have won. And they're trying to make this redistricting even worse with Proposition 50, so I hope you all know you're to vote against that and help spread the word about it. Michael Greer happens to have a son in Washington, D.C., who's part of President Trump's cabinet. He is an ambassador who works on the tariffs, and I almost got to meet him in person when I was there last week. I had invited him to some special events that Eagle Forum was having, and then he couldn't make that. He invited me to meet him in his office. Somehow I didn't get that text message, not until I was on my way home, and I felt so bad. But maybe someday we can do that. Please welcome Michael Greer.
It's great to be here. I was at the one last year, also the last Eagle Forum. You know, we're celebrating the Constitution, which is a great thing. But one thing that we have to do is we not only have the Constitution of the United States, it's our base, but we have a Constitution in California. I'm on assignment. I'm also the vice chair for the California Republican Party, representing a 9-county area, the Northwest region, which takes in Yolo, Solano, Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, Humboldt, Lake, Trinity, Humboldt, Del Norte. And so I'm in charge of basically our California Constitution and making sure that we don't let Prop 50 pass. Okay, it's absolutely essential. One of the things that I talk about as I go around, I'm not going to take up much time because we've got some other speakers we really want to hear that I want to listen to. But we have to go ahead and get out and do things. Not all of us can go door to door. All of us should be able to put up a sign in your yard. And there are plenty of signs. I was just talking to the chair in Yolo. They're putting up 500 signs in yards. 500. We need to do the same here in Sonoma County. Okay, we need to do that. And if you can't do that, you can always donate. Every one of us has a sphere of influence. We need to talk to our sphere of influence. Our sphere of influence, you know, because everyone has one. I mentioned it before at the last conference. Whether you're 5 years old or assisted living, doesn't matter. Everybody has that circle of influence around us. Our family, our friends, our neighbors, okay? It could be your business partners. It could be, you know, the clubs that you belong to, your book clubs, you know, the Elks, the Rotary, whatever it might be. Those are our spheres of influence. We need to talk to them. We cannot win this election without having the no party preference and without having the moderate, smart Democrats. And believe me, there are some out there. I've talked to a number of Democrats that are voting no, and we need to do that. We need to get active to do it. We need to support our California Constitution and not let the politicians in Sacramento be able to change it whenever they want. Because that's basically what this is. They're trying to change our California Constitution. And we need to have that power to the people, the power to the voters, and not the politicians. We have a lot of union members that are doing the same thing in their unions that I'm doing here. We're going out talking about to our union members. It's not going to do a lot of good with some of the top ones. I did talk to some top union leaders that are going to vote no on it, but yet their money is still going elsewhere. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a retired teacher. I was a California Teachers Association union president. I was a service center chair over a 5-county area, over in Colusa, Sutter, Yuba, Nevada County, Sierra County. I was over those teachers as a Republican. So I am fighting CTA right now because I know they put in themselves $300 million to defeat to pass Prop 50. So I am fighting them. And I'm gonna be working with your teachers down here to do the same thing. What I'm gonna ask very simply is, we need to get up and do something. If you can just get one or two people and explain to them what this is. This is one of the most important elections we've had here in California. And so it's my duty and responsibility to go ahead and make sure that my 9 counties go ahead and get on the same page. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the counties to work together. California is a great state, but we need to get it back to where it was. We have the opportunity to do it at this time. The other thing that I'm looking forward to down here, quite frankly, is we need candidates. We need candidates to run for office. I'm Stephanie. Yeah, we need candidates. Okay. Not just for assembly. You have 2 assembly seats here in Sonoma County that we need people to run for. Okay. Mike McGuire is out. We need somebody to run for the Senate. Talk to the people. We need to have it. We need to get it done by the first of the year. We need to get the commitments. We need to raise the money. And this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having some fundraisers. For those of you who can't go walk, donate some money. Donate to the campaigns. Donate to your central committees. Then they can go ahead and maybe help pay for those candidates' voter pamphlet. It cost me, when I ran for the assembly here, almost $15,000 just to put my name in the voter pamphlets. Okay, actually it's supposed to be money with the primary and the general election. That's just to go ahead and get in that little pamphlet. Okay, and so if we can help the candidates do that, we're trying to get more money from the California Republican Party to help those central committees, to see so we know where that money is going. We're taking a look at the books and, okay, how come we're not getting that money here? How come you're not helping us in these rural areas? How come you're not helping us in these blue areas? We need that help. So what are you gonna do? A lot of our No on 50 signs being given to us free, okay? By some of the congressmen. Congressman Lamoffa was just in 3 counties the other day doing it, but he also took care of 3 other counties. He's taking care of 6 counties. Assemblyman Gallagher is going to be here in this area. He was the minority leader. He's going to be in this area looking for money also for Senate ones. They do not give money, the California Republican Party do not give money to candidates for Assembly and Senate unless it's within a certain range. Like we had like 54% Democrat, 23 Republican. They don't do that. They don't give money with that kind. Assemblyman Gallagher did support me in mine. And that's what Assemblyman Gallagher wants to do. He wants to bring that money back to areas like ours so we can start getting school board members, so we can start getting, water districts, city council, supervisor elected. We need to get out and do it. I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over. But let's do it, because this is the opportunity. This is what we have to put out.
Would you also mention voter ID?
I can mention voter ID, absolutely. I've talked with Carl DeMayo's people, and we have actually, for the Northwest region, are combining with them, with voter ID and No on 50 together, so that our same leaders in each county are the same ones. So those people that are helping Carl DeMayo, they're now helping with No on 50. We're trying to put it together. We cannot win the state. We cannot win this election on the state level. The way we win elections in California is on the county level. That's the only way we're going to do it, is by this county. And we need to work with other counties to go ahead and make sure that we do that. So we are working with the local counties here, with Napa County. I'm working with them, Solano, over with Pat over in Lake County, with Dan in Mendocino County, so we can work together. So if we're going to have a walking campaign, we'll bring people from those other counties to help cover that walking county. We'll do the same thing, take walkers from here to go down door knock in the other counties on theirs. That's what we have to do. We have to come together as a party. We have to come together as a people that have those conservative values. We have those values of family, of country, of justice, of liberty, of freedom. We need to come together to that. And the only way we're going to do it is by working together. So we will be working with voter ID. It's essential. Within the next week and a half, you'll be able to sign up on voter ID to be able to get your family members to sign on those petitions. And those will be going on so that we can go ahead and meet the threshold that's needed to get it on the ballot with it. Okay. Hey, thank you very much.
All right, we're moving right along. Everybody looks like they're more or less fed. That's good. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is a rarity. So the next item on the agenda is a play. Now, the play was written by Orlean as part of her book about the dangers of a constitutional convention, a CON-CON. You've heard the name of the term CON-CON, Constitutional Convention, or an Article 5 convention, or Convention of the States. Maybe you've got literature from Mark Meckler who wants you to donate so we can make a revision to the Constitution. And that could turn out to be a pretty terrible idea. So that's what the play is about. We have, I would call us the never ready for primetime players. There are certain things that you're going to, we need your participation because the venue for this play is the conference center or convention center in Washington, D.C. So we will transport ourselves there and you will become part of the audience. And from time to time, you'll need to participate, like when I hold up a sign, it says, okay. This is just like being on television, right? Yeah, or this one. Okay. So I expect your participation, enthusiastic participation, and let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing great on time. There are people promoting this Constitution, and we'll feature that in the play. If you hear the term ABC, that's Article 5 Convention. If you hear the term COS, that's Convention of States. So we use these acronyms kind of liberally. And before we settled down here, I had an auction going on.
Wait till after they're playing.
Well, I think I'm going to do one before and one after. Now, some lucky person in this room is going to be able to read the play as it's being performed. And this play, or this script, will be signed by the playwright. And then afterwards, I will have another one, and also signed by the playwright. So I'll just open the bidding of where it was, and Linda had bid $1.50.
I know it's $2 because I don't know if she did $2 or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, you bid $1. Do I hear more than $1.50? How about $2? Anybody? Is there anybody? $2 right over here. $5. Oh, a big jump. Okay, $5 for the lady in blue. And $5 will then we go to $6 perhaps. Anybody for $6? $6 for this script. This is a one-of-a-kind, rare, never before seen by human beings script. Linda, you're going for
$6.
$6. So now we're at $6. And over here in blue, you want to go more? You've been overbid by only $1. $10. Oh, a big jump. Oh, we like it. The woman knows how to play. Okay. Anybody else? $11, $12, $15, $1,500. Just some amount in excess of $10. Come on, you guys all are catatonic here. What's going on? Oh, over here. What's your bid, sir? $12. Now we have $12. Good. Going for 14. $12. Going for 14. And I know this woman in the blue wants it very badly. So $14 for it would probably take it. I don't see anybody else getting enthusiastic here. Except,
lunch.
what?
All the blood's going to their stomach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it takes nerve. Okay, $14 for what's your name, sir? Victor Hansen?
Oh, jeez.
Somebody, the guy in the green shirt and glasses. $14. Going once? $14 going twice? 16 would take it. $14 and sold. You get to follow along in the actual script. Arlene, I expect you to sign this. Okay. And without too much further ado, we're on schedule for a change.
I can't hear.
I will be over in that corner, and I will have little signs like this. Let's see if you guys are alert. Now you're getting the spirit. Okay. I'll be over there, and
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
I'll
I'm
these
gonna
signs.
keep
Just
mine.
keep an eye on me for your cues.
If not, I'll run it off there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear, there's Kelly.
Need the music. Music.
Test 1, 2.
How's it?
I don't know how it was perched on here, Debbie. I don't know how it was.
We don't have the camera going, so it fell. So if you want this on recorded. Okay, but
Do you know how it was hooked up here?
I have no idea. Probably.
I'll go get her.